Hey there, I'm Megan with Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum. Today I'm going to kind of nerd out a little bit about the Pfaff Quilt Expression 720. This machine is probably one of our more popular mid-grade machines because it is pumped with a whole bunch of features that I can't wait to show you. I also really personally just like the color. I think it's really sleek looking. But other than that, there are a lot of cool things that I can show you on here. So, several of the features I want to talk about are going to be on the buttons and the screen that is up here. So right here on this machine, there's no actual presser foot lower. It's going to actually be these buttons right here. What I like about it though, if you can see the presser foot, is that when I hit it in a second time, it gives me an extra high lift. And when I press it down, it automatically lowers it down for me, which is great. I can also control that with my foot control, because the second I step on it, it drops it down, which is awesome. Other than that, we've got our typical Pfaff buttons. We've got our speed control button, and our start at the beginning of the pattern button when we're sewing decorative stitches. It's also got a tie-off feature, which I use all the time when I'm sewing. And it's also got a needle down button. What's neat about this is it will also create a pivot function. So when you need to make a turn or doing applique or anything like that, you can actually toggle that needle down and it'll raise the presser foot just a little bit so you can actually scoot your fabric around. Now, personally, I have a great big dog at home that likes to stomp on my foot control and get mom pretty upset. So instead, I don't use the foot control and I can actually use the stop-start button that's on this machine too. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. And then of course, this is a button I can never live without, the scissor button. What it does is when you're sewing, it'll tie off and cut the threads and pull both of the tails to the back side, making your life a heck of a lot easier when you're going through and making everything look pretty at the end of everything. Now, on the screen itself here, something that I really personally like about this machine is up here, it always gives me the recommended presser foot, if I should have the integrated dual feed technology down, and any other things that I might want to know for those stitches. I can also control my stitch width, stitch length, and my tension from here too, which is really nice. And then, of course, I am a sucker for decorative stitches, so I can go in here and either see all my stitches like that, or open up the sections where I have 9 different sections of stitches and a 10th where I can save some of my favorite things and go from there. So I absolutely love that. There are so many fun things to explore in here. So you can really go crazy with this machine. It's also got some of the Pfaff exclusive stitch techniques. There it is. With the ribbon stitches, the stacking stitches, and the floating stitches, which are 3 of my favorite Pfaff exclusive features on this guy. So I want to show you guys how it sews as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm actually going to use my foot control, not the stop-start button, to get us started. But doing that, I'm not going to be touching either of the presser feet button either. So you can see that it automatically lowers the foot. Then I'm going to let it go ahead and sew. And when I'm done, I'm going to hit that scissor button. So you can see that automatic tie off and the thread cut, which is amazing. And it automatically lifts the foot back up for me. And then you can see the thread down there, and it gives me a really nice, beautiful seam, even if I went a little bit on vacation there. So something else that I love about this machine too is going to be that integrated dual feed technology. So it's this little black thing back here that I can engage or disengage. So I did that backwards, now it's engaged. What it does, it adds feed dogs to the top of the fabric as well as the bottom, so it feeds everything nice and evenly. So if you're vertically challenged like myself, if you use denim, because I often have to hem my pants a lot, I can go ahead, sew those back together, do my cutoff. So there we go. It sewed both of those layers great. So I'm going to pretend to do the fancy stitch over the top of it now, just like you see on the inside of your jeans. A little slower so I'm less vacation-y. Same thing. Gonna cut my thread there. Even if you miss the edge, it doesn't damage the machine if you go past it, which I think is awesome. And there we go. So that's on 3 layers of denim. And now when I hem, I'm going to go 6 and 9 layers of denim. So right here, there's 9 layers. I'm going to go over that. And then I've got this really thin tricot stuff that we're going to go over as well, without me changing anything on the machine. No tension, no speed, no nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and let it do its thing. And I'll let it Go right over that. Didn't even struggle. Go over that. Do my tie off or my cut off for you. And that is why I absolutely love Pfaff, because you can see it sewed right over that thick seam super, super well. And then also didn't even pucker that tricot even a little bit. So no matter if you are a costumer or a quilter or anything, this thing will do a fantastic stitch no matter the thickness that you're working on, which I think is great. Now, the last thing I like to talk about over here by the needle and the presser foot and everything is that it does have a semi-automatic needle threader. So on this guy, when I do it, it's going to be this right here. I can tuck it underneath what I call the witch's finger and floss it through what I think is the world's weirdest looking crocodile. Loosen, let it go, and I'm ready to go no matter if I just had to switch my thread or refill my bobbin or anything like that. So all of these make it so much easier on all of your projects for working on things. I also forgot to mention the pivot function. So if I go ahead and sew a little bit, I'm going to toggle my needle down button. Anytime I stop, it's going to stop with the needle in the down position and give me a little bit of room so that I can rotate my fabric. This is fantastic if you're doing applique, or for those of us garment sewers, if you're doing a princess seam, or even for quilters on a Y seam or something like that. It really makes your life way easier. So this machine is fantastic to make sewing fun again. I always say sewing needs to be fun and not work. So these were some of my personal favorite features on the Pfaff Quilt Expression 720. However, there are so many more that we can go over with you, including some of the things that are on this machine that are even on like the Pfaff Creative icon, which is the top of the line of the Pfaff line. Definitely come check it out at one of our Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum locations. We all would love to show you. Thanks for letting me nerd out about the machine, and I hope you're as excited about them as I am.